Hey, what's up, guys? Good morning and happy Monday. Welcome back to all. What's up, Mandy? What's up, Mirza? My man, Andrew, Turbo, Peter in Vermont. All right, guys. I am sleep deprived, but I got the big three squeeze all done. Finito. All finished up. So I do want to show you a couple squeezes here this morning, but just to make sure we're on the same page, a couple of notes here. So, as always, up here, those labels are for the buy and the sell signals. So green is a buy signal, red is a sell signal. And then the labels down here are for the squeezes. So blue is just a squeeze. Green is a squeeze and a buy signal. Red would be a squeeze and a sell signal. And then gray means you got nothing. No squeeze action at all. And then what we're going to focus on this morning is what I would call an A+ setup. And when we find an A+ setup, let's see, where is ADI? So that bad boy down here, big three squeeze A+ setup. When that lights up green, it's just about picture perfect. That means you have the buy signal. So your structure, your momentum, your trend, everything's aligned for a push higher. It means you have a squeeze. So we already know we're gearing up here for what should be a pretty big move. And we're also setting up at the buy zone. So it's basically my go-to trade at a level on the chart where I can actually trade it. And then we got the upside and the downside targets. So for ADI here, we're looking for 205-ish. We got a label here for volume. So if that label is light green, volume is bigger than average. If it's dark green, it means volume is starting to climb. So for ADI here, you can see volume is starting to climb inside the squeeze. And then for those of you in the options room, I thought this would kind of be helpful as far as making our sessions a bit more efficient. You guys know a big part of being on the mic is, I'll give you my spiel. Hey, here's what I'm seeing. Here's my setups. And then a good chunk of it is, all right, what do you guys have? Throw a few names at me and we'll check them out. So now these two labels will give a setup a ranking for the bulls and a ranking for the bears. So the best possible ranking for a bullish kind of trade would be 6. So ADI here is, in my book, of course, an ideal long setup. And then say today someone says, hey, T, should we short the S&Ps? You got anything here on that daily chart that says short the S&Ps? Best possible ranking for a short would be -6. The S&Ps are currently 0. I don't have a squeeze telling me to get short. I don't have momentum telling me to get short. I don't have structure telling me to get short. I have nothing telling me to get short. If anything, on the bull rank, it's a 4 out of a 6. So that's obviously a little closer to an ideal long than an ideal short. Alrighty, and we'll have more information and some news coming out about the squeezola here shortly. But all right, y'all. So a couple names for this week, and just a quick look here at the futures. Everything looks peachy in futures land. So let's see, S&P's up about a quarter. That all checks out. And the one and only NQ. Not seeing too many problems. All right, first up is ADI. Like I mentioned, for me, an A+ setup is the big three indicators bullish. We have an active squeeze, and we're setting up at the buy zone. So if that's the A+ trade on one time frame, best case scenario is we're finding that A+ setup on 2, 3, maybe 4 time frames at once. And that's ADI here. So weekly down to the 4-hour has the green label. So that tells us we have a squeeze and a buy signal. And now if they got the A+ label, such as the 4-hour chart, you're also getting a good entry. Everything kind of setting up right near that buy zone. So that's basically the green light. We've got the green light on the 4-hour squeeze. So there's one. Got the green light on the daily squeeze. Green light on the 2-day squeeze. So there's 3 of them. 3-day squeeze has a green light. There's 4. And then the big boy on the weekly chart. So from a weekly chart all the way down to the 4-hour. Got a squeeze, got a buy signal at the buy zone. So therefore, one of my favorite picks for this week. And like I said, we're looking for 204 to 205-ish. We got the August expiration called debit spreads on that one. Alrighty, so ADI. And next up here is Crowd. CRWD. All right, so let's see. On the squeeze labels, we have the green label on the 1-hour, the 4-hour, all the way up to the weekly chart. The 1-hour's got the green light. 4-hour squeeze got the green light. The daily squeeze has the green light. The 2-day chart. The 3-day squeeze. And the weekly. So these can tend to be some of the more explosive setups. 1-hour squeeze fires long. In the process of triggering and pushing to the upside, that triggers the 4-hour. 4-hour triggers the daily, etc., etc. So my favorite example of a nested squeeze, at least as of late, would be Netflix. You got old Netflix here back in April, May. And before that huge push, what we would have seen from the weekly chart down to the 2-hour was that green label. You got a squeeze and you have a buy signal. 2-hour squeeze fired, the 4-hour squeeze, then the daily, then the 3-day. Everything squeezing until eventually the weekly squeeze also fires. So that's where a bigger name like Netflix can go from 300 to borderline 500 over the course of just about 2 months. So the nested squeezes tend to be some of the best. And Crowd and ADI, both really good examples. So we don't have any Crowd yet, but let me see. Yeah, we'll see where it opens. I like that one a lot. All right, now we got Baidu. Now Baidu looks really good. You'll notice though, the A+ setup label, it's not green. Reason being is we don't have the perfect entry. We have a squeeze, we have a buy signal. We're a little bit too far above that 21 EMA to consider this what I think is a really good entry. So then it becomes a name I try to buy on a little bit of a dip. Anything that takes it back into the buy zone. Then we'll get the green label. Then we'll get the thumbs up to go on ahead and jump in. What I would like to do, though, and we'll see if the market is gracious enough. But yeah, I would like to catch one more dip and then try to get positioned here for that 2-day squeeze. That could take you through the highs here. So as long as you have a squeeze, as long as you got the buy signal, they do give you a dip back into the buy zone. I think that's where you take the shot. So we'll keep an eye on Baidu for now. All right, we got AFRM. So a couple of important things to note here. You do have a lot of squeezes. The 4-hour is neutral, the 2-hour is neutral, and the 15-minute and the 5-minute. More importantly, though, look at the big 3 indicator. With the exception of the daily chart, everything's neutral. So this is one of those things where, we definitely have a nice daily squeeze. It gets a grade of 6 out of 6. We're getting the A+ label. So that sets the stage for what should be a really nice push. What's missing right now, though, is the trigger. All right, something has to light the fuse inside that daily squeeze to get the party going to the upside. The trigger that can light the fuse are those buy signals across all those lower time frames. So a name like ADI, the stage is set for a nice push. Get a 6 out of 6. It's an A+ setup. All right, all that good stuff. But then notice how your 4 hour, the 2 hour, the 1 hour, and the 30 minute, all those lower time frames are printing a buy signal. So inside the squeeze, structure is starting to flip bullish, momentum is starting to pick up. Again, that can light the fuse. So the only thing missing here from a firm, and you might get them this morning, but the only thing missing for now would be something like a 15-minute, 30-minute hourly buy signal to try to kickstart that daily squeeze. In the absence of those lower time frame buy signals, and this is really key as far as the timing component. In the absence of all those lower time frame buy signals, you're just kind of looking at a pretty daily squeeze that's going nowhere. So what I'm trying to accomplish, what we're trying to accomplish in the mastery, are trades like Freeport. Got the squeeze, got the buy signal. Stage is set for a nice push. All those buy signals line up from the ground up. That allows us to jump in, and then we're pushing right into a profit. That's the goal, guys. So AFRM's a little quiet. Next up is tech, and tech looks pretty solid. So there's a perfect example of, if I could screenshot this one, this is pretty much the total package. The total package. A+ setup on the daily chart. So squeeze, buy signal at the buy zone. With a 4 hour buy signal, a 2 hour buy signal, a 1 hour, a 30 minute, a 15 minute. That's picture perfect. Squeeze of the buy signal tells you we should be gearing up for a big move. These little guys tell you, hey, it's probably go time. That's where you want to try to jump in and then catch the squeeze. So tech is very nice. Philip Morris. That one's pretty clean. Not too shabby. Let's see. Lucid. A name like Lucid can definitely be a little frisky. They can move a little spastic. But if anything, maybe for some cheap calls, not too shabby here, guys. Right. Everything checks out on the daily chart. You're getting above average volume before the squeeze fires. So that's usually a good sign. And then you got the alignment here, 15 minute, 30, 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour. Maybe some cheap out the money calls is one way to play that idea. Again, it can be a little frisky. And then my last pick for y'all is LYB. And with a squeeze first focus, right now this is not an A+ setup. The ranking here is only 4 out of 6. Reason being is the squeeze already fired. And obviously at this point, it's way above that buy zone. But then I look at the 2-day chart. All right, that's a 5 out of 6. The only thing missing here is an entry at the buy zone. I've got the buy signal, and I've got the squeeze. The 3-day chart, 5 out of 6. Got the squeeze. Big three's bullish. I don't have an entry at the buy zone. The weekly chart is a 6 out of 6. A plus setup. Squeeze, buy signal at the buy zone. So for LYB here, that weekly squeeze could definitely take this back through those highs. The preference would be we get one more decent flush. And ideally, you're getting that flush before all the squeezes here fire. So one more little kickback. Then if you jump in, you're looking for the 2-day, the 3-day, and the weekly squeeze to take it to the promised land. So pretty much just trying to take out all the guesswork, right? Kind of takes the all the thinking out of the process. Can I trade ADI right here, right now? Yeah, I can. So long as I get my lower time frame triggers. Could I trade Freeport right now? The ship has kind of sailed in terms of that squeeze first focus. So there's a few for you good people. ADI, Firm, Proud, Lucid, Tech. Oh, and then AI. We didn't look at AI. AI. Just not good enough. Not good enough. No buy signals, no bull squeeze. Leaves a little bit to be desired. But that can change quickly. That might change today at the open. So definitely keep an eye on them. But all right, guys, if you got any picks you want to take a look at, any chart requests, throw them on at me, and we'll see what you got. Amazon. Yeah, big week coming up for Amazon. At least that's the rumor. That's the rumor. So for Amazon here, my grade would be a 4 out of 6. Which actually means you're not too far off from a really good daily squeeze. So what's missing here for Amazon? We have a squeeze. So we got that part of the equation. We're trading within the buy zone. We got that part of the equation. We're above the 50 SMA. We're above the 21 EMA. We got that part of the equation. What we don't have here is an active buy signal. So this daily squeeze back here, by default, you want to look at that with a bullish bias. What the green arrow on the chart, with the green arrow on the squeeze itself is telling you is that during that period of compression, so inside the squeeze, all of the momentum criteria is bullish. All the structure criteria is bullish. All the moving average crosses are bullish. Playing the probabilities game that is trading, that squeeze has a pretty good probability of firing to the upside. When they're neutral, meaning we're not bullish, we're not bearish, just kind of, frankly, it's tough to call for direction. it does tend to be a little bit more like this. Like, oh boy, oh baby, here comes Amazon, brand new daily squeeze. And it's up and it's down. Oh boy, that squeeze looks like it wants to fire short. And it's down and it's up. So my thinking there is, all right, do I have anything right now that's a bit more aligned? In plain English, do I have any other squeezes that I can call for a directional move in? ADI is a really good example. So I would trade ADI. Then I'd wait for Amazon to start to shape up. Follow the pretty colors, so to say, and then when Amazon gets a few more, then maybe you're taking a look at Amazon. Realistically, though, we got to come back after earnings. Structure is fine. The trend is good. There's nothing here that really would suggest, death to Amazon. But for me, I want to get through earnings. Then we'll think about dancing with that bad boy. All right. What else we got here? What's up, Scott? Palo Alto. Let's see. Palo Alto. Not too bad. 5 out of 6 because I don't have a buy signal. Now, you can compensate here. And what I mean by that is if you look at our Walmart trade from last week, for those of you in the mastery, Walmart would have been a 5 out of 6 as far as the ranking on the daily chart. The daily squeeze printed, we never really got a daily buy signal until the day that we took profits. So in that situation, you have a daily squeeze. Structure is pretty bullish. The trend is pretty decent. For trying to get a sense of, all right, does that neutral daily squeeze want to fire long or fire short? That's where you drill down to your lower time frames. So even though the daily chart was neutral, the morning that we bought Walmart, the 4-hour chart, the 2-hour chart, the 1-hour chart, all of those lower time frames from the ground up, they all printed that buy signal. So if everything inside the daily squeeze is bullish on the indicator, that's going to influence that daily squeeze to want to fire long. Vice versa, if everything from the ground up is printing a sell signal, that's going to try to influence that daily squeeze to fire short. So with that being said, for Palo Alto, it might not be a complete 6 out of 6 right now because we are missing that buy signal on the daily. But as far as the fixins for a push here, 15-minute is bullish, the 30-minute is bullish, the 1-hour, the 2-hour. Now, if anything, try to find a lower time frame squeeze. And then you're really in business. All right, my daily squeeze is neutral. My 2-hour squeeze is bullish. So in the absence of that daily bull squeeze, now I can anchor to the 2-hour chart. The 2-hour chart's got the green light. So from there, I would make the 2-hour squeeze my complete focus. If this fires to the upside, there's a chance here it's going to influence the daily squeeze to do the same thing. If it fires short, you're probably not going to see that daily squeeze fire long, at least just yet. I know I threw a lot at you there, but hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. My man Tony's got some MNST. I got to stop drinking these freaking things, guys. I really do. I'm 30 years old. I got to start growing up. They're just crazy addicting, though. I'm maybe good for like 1 or 2 per week, so I'm not too far off the monster deep end. But man, that sweet sugary goodness. All right, let's see. So Tony, this one's a little finicky. Technically, the squeeze just fired, so that's why we're not getting a 6 out of 6 or an A plus setup. Realistically, it's an A plus setup. But that's sometimes where the squeeze can be a little goofy. Sometimes the squeeze technically fires, and you're not getting this huge push higher or this huge push lower. It's just a Bollinger Band Keltner channel kind of thing. So I think you look at that as an honorary member of the A plus club. So very clean. And where this could get better, Tony, is if all the bigger time frame squeezes eventually turn into a bull squeeze. 1 hour, 2 hour, the 2 day, the 3 day. Then you really got a party. The monster party. Terry, for crowd. So these target labels, whenever this indicator's live and all that good stuff, there does have to be, I think, a little discretion here. And not to go too far into the details, because most of you probably don't care too much, but this is based on standard deviations. So during a squeeze, everything's compressed. All right, standard deviations are measured via Bollinger Bands, while during a squeeze, the Bollinger Bands contract. So in other words, as the price starts to go higher, the squeeze begins to fire, the Bollinger Bands will begin to open. So tomorrow, if crowd is up here at 160, that top Bollinger Band is probably going to be higher than 164. So my thinking is I'm trying to take that target when I pull the trigger, and then that's pretty much the ballpark of where I'm looking to take profits. So for ADI, right now during the squeeze, the standard deviation level that I'm working off of is around 205.25. Now, as crowd or ADI rather starts to move closer towards that, that'll change to 206, 207, 2010. So I'm trying to get the target when I take the entry. And then the goal is we're trying to take profits once the squeeze fires, or even before the squeeze fires, somewhere in that neighborhood. So for a crowd, that was, what did we say? 164, 165. Should be the quote unquote easier part of the move. Everything from there gets a little bit more tricky. All right, guys, a few more. I got to jump into the gold room here in a minute. PLTR. For me, a little bit out of my wheelhouse because there's not too many squeezes. But even with that being said, there is a squeeze on the 2-day chart. So as far as, all right, what time frame do I focus on right now? Me personally, I got to go where the squeezes are. So if there was a trade here, it would be the 2-day squeeze. But then my label is telling me this isn't quite A+. I got the squeeze. I got the buy signal. I should have bought it somewhere back there. And a lot of this, guys, just comes down to risk versus reward. You can catch that squeeze in that buy zone. Now you're putting on a trade that should allow you to work a pretty good risk versus reward. If I buy ADI at 205, it's a totally different trade. There might be a little bit more upside left in the short term, but it also might pull back $15 into the buy zone. So if you anchor to that daily 21 as your your over-under line. Like, all right, if I bought the squeeze here, we really shouldn't be closing back under that 21 EMA. And I think if you do close under the 21, you take consideration the cut in the trade short and move it on to the next one. So therefore, if we can buy it right here, take our exits somewhere down here. It's a little bit of risk. And if the squeeze does fire, a lot more reward. So for Palantir, try to catch a pullback on the 2-day squeeze. So long as you're still coiled on up. All right, a few more here. Intel. Intel was pretty solid last week. Let's see. Yeah, I'm a little bit late. Interestingly enough, you actually never got a daily squeeze. Oh, it's a 2-day chart. All right. All right, there we go. Yeah, I'm just late on Intel. Now the squeeze just fired. So the party kind of just got going here. So if you can catch it on one more kickback, from there you can look for continuation from the squeeze. But then keep in mind, guys, you got the big weekly. You got that big fella setting up in the background as well. Yeah, so I'm a little late on the old Intel here. John, let's take a look at Apple. For me, it's kind of tough to read too much into them before earnings. I mean, if we want to pretend earnings isn't coming up, then my thinking would be, all right, got a brand new daily squeeze. And to me, that's the great thing about a squeeze. It's kind of all really straightforward from there. Unless Apple's going to remain in a daily squeeze for the rest of eternity, pretty good chance sometime around the corner that daily squeeze fires long or fires short. From there, as a trader, it's just your job to try to dictate. Well, not dictate. We can't dictate it, but try to get a strong sense of whether or not that squeeze wants to fire long or fire short. The trend would suggest it fires long. Structure would suggest it fires long. The tough thing is earnings can throw a wrench in a good game plan. Selfishly, and I always say selfishly because a few of you might be long. Selfishly, I would love just one more little pullback. We get one more pullback here, guys. We're going to get the green light. We're going to have an A+ setup for Apple on the monthly chart. That's huge. Like that's massive stuff. The biggest stock in the world on the biggest time frame with a squeeze, a buy signal at the buy zone. If anything, that's my fear of earnings. Apple crushes it. They whisper all the right words during the conference call. That might be the green light for the monthly squeeze to just fire to the upside from here. So we'll see what's up with that. And then speaking of monthly squeezes, then I got to let you guys go here. Don't forget about the monthly squeeze on the S&Ps. So a little inside information for you. If that momentum line can cross back above the 0 line, we will print a monthly buy signal. The big three indicator has structure. You got structure ingredients, and then you've got momentum ingredients. The structure side of the equation, it's all lined up. So now you have a squeeze where the structure, the moving average crosses, the trend, everything's lined up here for that squeeze to fire long. Only thing that we're missing is a little bit of fresh gas here in the gas tank for the bulls. We might get that possibly next month if they keep it going. But all right, guys, I'm a little bit late here to the gold room, so I got to let you go. But as always, thank you for your time. Thank you for being here early on a Monday, and hopefully took some value there from the squeeze discussion. But y'all have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon. Adios.